It's getting crazy hot here in the desert. It's already 105 degrees outside. These bees are going crazy. And I just want to throw this out there. Wax foundation. I love it now. I really do. I'm spending the extra money for this stuff because the bees do weird stuff on this plastic comb. Sometimes they fill it out, sometimes they don't. I don't know about you, but I can see eggs and comb built off of this stuff. And they do such a beautiful job when you give them that kind of foundation. Which leads me to, yes, Sid, they do. My dog Sid's over here because he's a hot dog. I'd already bought a set of these, and they came through, no endorsement, Cutler Bees Supply Inc. You can look them up. And this is for wire. You can see the holes in here. It's for wire. Also, these are, and I made the mistake, the cleat board, where these are cut. Where is it? I can't see it. But these are cut. Oh, yeah, right here. These are cut to where you pop this off right here, and it cleats the wax in. Now, I found a whole different method, and we'll get there. But one of the things I did was I modified all of my frames that I was getting. I just bought, and I thought I bought 2. Apparently, I only put a quantity of 1, so I had to reorder it. 10 frame deep, again, from Polybee. Now, Polybee, of course, comes, and they're solid. They're made for the plastic foundation. So what I have done, and you can either look it up yourself, which I did. You can look it up. You can get hole placements for wire. Or I just grabbed this and went side by side and marked it. Now, one of the things that I've done is I only drill 2 holes. You know, there's 4, but I only put 2 wire in it, and then I feed the foundation in, and then I cleat it into the frame with just little strips of wax and squeeze it in. And once the bees get working on it and anchor all that stuff in, it works out just fine. These are kind of involved. You have to nail the cleat board in. It's a lot of fun. So I'm going to getting on with how to do this process. Put this away, and yeah, let's move. I kicked it. Let's move forward. Let me see if I can move without kicking things. Now, the first thing I want to do is I want to drill these first 2 holes. And you can do it with a hand. You can do it with a hand drill. It's over there, which all the frames that were already built, I actually had to use a hand drill. Now from here, I take a couple of nails, a couple big fat nails right here, and I stick them in these holes. And then I reach around here to the shelf of everything. And then what I do is I line this up. And I mean, it doesn't have to be like super duper precise. And do a tap, tap. And there you have for your next 2 holes right there. So just go through all of these frame pieces, mark them, and then I'll go to town on the drilling. So when I get done drilling, we'll go from there. All right. Well, I got all those drilled out. Oh, there we go. As you can see, they're all modified. Here was my template. Pull the nails out. Throw it in the stack. Now, I'm going to build a frame real quick, and then I'm going to show you how I wire it. I'm sure somebody's going to say, oh, that's completely wrong. It'll never work. Well, the bees don't care. So, I mean, all the different devices that they show with the crimper and the waxer wheel thing, the heat electronic doohickey, the stretcher nail on the side, and no, I'll show you how I do it. Seems to work fine. You can put the wax in there. You can anchor it into the top bar, and the bees fill it in and anchor it all down themselves, and it works just fine. All right. All right, I figured we could dispense with another frame building tutorial. So I got a frame, put it all together here. Thing you need to do is get yourself a piece of wire and figure out the length you need for this loop. So I have a template for the wire here, and then we start cutting out more wire. What I've got my spool of wire up here, and let me lift this up a little bit without too much shaky shake, and I stick it on my little hobby drill press on the handle so I can unloop it here. And what did I do with my clippers? The other thing I can do is that to hold it. Let me grab my other tools. Need a couple pairs of pliers, and of course some wire cutters. So we'll start out with a nice fresh spot. What I do is just meet the wire end to end here and draw out a length, and I will do this all at once with a whole bunch, as many as I need. So after that I'm going to need 9 more. So here is my fresh length of wire. And then what I do, let's see if I can do this here. Let me, disaster. Shove those out of the way like that. And then, let me see, I can't tell what I'm doing here. I run the wire there. It's a lot easier sitting down comfortably in the chair while I do it, so I have my knees to hold things, but let's just get through this one right here. Run it through like that on the other side. So now I got my 2 ends right here. Yep, you can see that. I got to keep reaching over. Now I take my pliers from here, and I grab one end of the wire and take my other pair on the other end, and I pull them tight. I drop it down there, pull them tight, give it a loop to hold it. Give it about 6 to 8 twists with my fingers without stabbing myself and bleeding all over the place. And yeah, I've done it. I might have done that. Then I clip it off, set that to the side to be put into the trash, and then bend the tail over, and there you go. I've got wire. There it is. And it's pretty tight. So from there, here I'm gonna shut this off. Fast forward. I need to get into another box. And I'm going to grab the wax, and I'm going to grab the little pieces of wax cleating, and I'll show you how to do that. All right, let me see if I can do this while you guys watch and I don't bump into things too much. So here is the wax sheet. So what I do is I take and I slip it in this way behind that wire right there, in front of that wire there, and I set it in the groove right here. Maybe a little wonky, like It was over 100 degrees out when this wax was delivered. There was a little bit of damage. Somebody was waiting for it, but still riding around in the back of a FedEx truck or UPS truck. I don't remember which one. It is making it a little bit more difficult. All right. You probably can't see it as good at this angle. Let me get it in the groove. Of course, with everybody watching me, the pressure is on. Here, let me get this in the groove and I'll get right back with you on how I anchor it down. All right, I actually flipped it the other way around. So what you do now, I had cut a lot of this stuff down for some super boxes for some medium frames. So I have a whole bunch of extra strips. I don't know what I'm going to do with because I got like a lot of beeswax. I might roll them up and make candles. I don't know. Do something with them. But it don't matter. If you take your full width strip and cut just a little bit off the bottom, the bees aren't going to notice. And then from that, take and cut out some little chunks like this right here. Then all I do is this, is I stick it in right there with it, and I grab a screwdriver, and I don't know if you can see me doing this or not, and I kind of poke it in to the groove and get it started, and then I press down on that wax. Here, I'm going to turn it away from you for a second and do this. It's easier. You can, I think, kind of see how I'm doing it here. And I squeeze it down into it to cleat it into the groove right there. Let me see. Yep, you can see that. And I've been doing this on both ends and in the middle lately. I think I'm going to put 4 in this time. Maybe this way you can kind of see me a little bit better at this angle. So you just kind of get that stuff started and then try and press the whole chunk of wax down in there to hold it in place. And smear it out this way. Don't poke in because you'll poke right through it. You don't want to poke through this. You want to just drive some wax down into that groove to hold it in place long enough for them to get a hold of it. Again, you can poke in a little bit this way to get it started. And then you press down on the top and draw out like that. And then we'll do the last one here. Just a little added measure since it's so bloody hot out. I only had one piece of, and this was with the high-end frames with the cleats. I had a piece of wax foundation fall out of a frame. Had no idea what happened. The bees were making a pup tent out of it because it was leaning up against another frame with wax foundation. I have not had any wax foundation fall out using this. So there you go. You got your wire. They're going to start building up over this wire and it's going to anchor it in. You don't need to heat it. You don't need to do nothing. I think 2 wires is enough to keep it straight. You can see it's pretty stable for just like that. See, it's not falling out. And I love it. I love how the bees work this wax. They get to it quick. They start drawing it out and they make beautiful combs out of it. Up. See, I just bumped it and it fell out. Got to start over. Everything's a disaster around here, guys. I was being a little bit more brutal than I normally am when I do this, just to try and prove a point that there you go. You can do this without cleats. All right. Start over. Anyway, that's that. I'll trim that back off and I'll clean that groove out and I'll redo it. But believe me, I don't bang them around like that. I set them into the box and I let the bees get started on it, and I haven't really had that big of an issue. All right. Hope that helps.